Hi there, welcome to my views and news. In a live chat last night rather, a viewer asked a question about the possibility of an alliance between Fano and TPLF. Another viewer asked a question about the possibility of formation of an alliance comprising Eritrea, TPLF, Debrecen, and Fano. I respond by saying that I'll do detailed video on that. So I have some time now. We can analyze these questions now. Let's not say yes or no to this question. Let's try to analyze it. Any possibility of Eritrea TPLF Debrecen alliance? Any possibility of TPLF Debrecen Fano alliance? Any possibility of Eritrea Fano TPLF alliance? And if it happens, how deadly this alliance will be for the Ethiopian federal. Firstly, if this type of alliance is formed, it will be a deadly alliance for the Ethiopian people. If it happens, if somehow these three groups join hands, fourth one could join as well, Oromo Liberation Army, because OLA in the past, during the war, worked in collaboration with Tigray fighters. Jula accuses OLA of backed by Egypt and Eritrea, other Ethiopian officers. They accuse OLA of Gilmaro. They accuse OLA of Gilmaro of being backed by outsiders. So Eritrea, Debrecen, Fano, OLA alliance could be a formidable challenge for the Ethiopian federal government, firstly. Secondly, now let's analyze these questions one by one. Firstly, Eritrea TPLF alliance. TPLF Debrecen, because we know TPLF has two factions now. One is Getachew wing, backed by federal government of Ethiopia. Second one is Debrecen group, which is being accused of being in contact with Eritrean government. Eritrea has been fighting EPRDF, vice versa, for decades. So ideally, Eritrea would not like TPLF to be once again in control of Addis Ababa. If it happens, TPLF might revert to its hostile policies towards Eritrean government. EPRDF and Eritrean government fought a war, 1998 war. And they backed proxies against each other. Ideally, Eritrea would not like TPLF Debrecen to be so powerful that once again it emerges as the strongest player in Ethiopia and turns into a threat to Eritrean government. First point. Second point, possibility of Eritrea Fano alliance. Fano is in contact with Eritrea because Fano groups were trained by Eritrea. During Tigray war, Amhara special forces were trained in Eritrea. Yes, members are part of Fano too. So there are contacts between Eritrea and Fano. But Eritrean support for Fano is limited. It will always be limited. Why? Because Fano, between Fano and Eritrea, there is Western zone. Western Tigray. Volkai Thumara Sagade. Amhara region is not directly connected with Eritrea. And ENDF is heavily deployed to Western zone. Whether Damak Zayadu is in contact with the Asaf government or not, ENDF is there in Western zone, and even Damak Zayadu is not fully trusted by foreign fighters. Some say that he is just concerned about he doesn't back. He does not back. He is not supportive of other foreign groups in Gujum, Gundar, Show, etc. So Even if Eritrea supports Fano, Fano can have limited results. TPLF is connected with Eritrea. They have the border. Border is being controlled by Tigray forces. ENDF is there too, but Tigray forces are there too. TPLF militia is there too. So TPL Debrecen can easily receive direct support from Eritrea. Fano cannot receive that. Fano and Eritrea can connect through Sudan, we can say. So Eritrea Fano alliance perhaps will not be as challenging for the Ethiopian government as a trilateral alliance, Eritrea, Fano, and TPLF alliance. Now, third point is, uh, will Eritrea like to be part of any alliance with TPLF and Fano? Yes, it will. Why? Because now it is clear that Ethiopia is going to arm, it's going to train, it's going to back Eritrean opposition groups. Two have already met in Samra. That in a far National Congress, Brigade Hamid met in Samra. They announced to wage war on Eritrea. They announced to remove Isaias Afwerki government. They were talking about post Isaias Afwerki era. They were talking about transition. Ethiopia backing. Eritrea set to respond, and it can respond through backing its proxies in Ethiopia or backing those groups which are against Ethiopian government. Ethiopia Debrecen could be used, Fano could be used, OLA could be used, groups in Afar could be used, etc., etc. So yes, Eritrea would like to form an alliance with disgruntled Ethiopian groups, armed or unarmed. But having said that, Eritrea would not like TPLF Debrecen to be once again the strongest player in Ethiopia. If it happens, once again we could see confrontation between Eritrean government and TPLF-led government. Eritrea supported Abiy's government against TPLF. It wanted to crush TPLF. Abiy weakened TPLF and then he demanded access to sea. Eritrea disagreed, and now Abiy is totally unreliable for Eritrea. Now, which is a better choice for Eritrea? Abiy or TPLF Debrecen wing? Very interesting question. Eritrea wants to remove PM Abiy. It's not a secret now that Eritrea wants to remove Ethiopian PM. Eritrea has realized that this man is going to be a pain in the side of Eritrea. He's backing Eritrean opposition groups. He might reclaim a support. It's better to get rid of him. But as I said earlier, Eritrea at the same time does not want, it cannot trust TPLF. But Eritrea can play a role in forming a coalition of armed groups against the government of Ethiopia. This is how Eritrea can control people Debrecen too. But people Debrecen, I mean Tigray Defense Force too. Because these days, Tigray Defense Force is supporting the Debrecen group. If Fano, OLA, TPLF, they form an alliance backed by Eritrea, it means that no one player will be able to make unilateral decisions. But the Debrecen means TPLF, Tigray fighters. They won't be able to make any decision if they come to power alone. They'll have to have the support from Fano, from OLA as well. So ideally, I believe Eritrea would like a coalition of Ethiopian armed groups. It would like to support this coalition to remove Ethiopian PM. And it would like this coalition then to make decisions about Ethiopia, not one party. This is what I think is the case. Now, is there any possibility of the formation of this alliance? Possibility is there. I believe possibility is there. Any contacts have been made? Yes. Preliminary contacts have been made. Progress towards the formation of alliance? Unclear. A lot needs to be done before the formation of this alliance. Eritrea is playing its cards with close to its chest. Abiy is doing everything publicly, but Eritrean plan is definitely being chalked out in alliance with disgruntled Ethiopian elements, anti-Ethiopian government elements. That is why I'm saying that the conflict in Tigray is being ignored by Ethiopian PM Abiy. He's behaving like a spectator. But this conflict, which is an internal conflict in Tigray, it could engulf Ethiopia. Eritrea could be involved, OLA could be involved, Fano could be involved, and we could see national consequences. Federal government should try to solve the conflict in Tigray. It is in the interests of federal government. At least it should try to avert a war. It should try to back some sort of dialogue in Tigray. Otherwise, things could get worse, I believe. Thanks for watching.